Level 1, the poster. You're not on the most wanted list yet. You're on a poster at the post office that nobody reads. Bank robbery in a small town, caught on 3 different cameras, face clear as day. You wore a hoodie but forgot about the angle from the teller station. Amateur hour. The FBI opens a case because it's a federal crime, but you're just a number in the system. One agent gets assigned, part-time, along with 40 other cases he's juggling. He'll check the databases, run your photo through facial recognition, send some emails to local police departments. Then, he'll move on to something more pressing. You've got maybe 3 weeks before anyone seriously looks for you. Most bank robbers get caught because they tell someone. A girlfriend, a drinking buddy, some guy they met at a bar who seemed cool. You stay quiet. You don't spend the money in obvious ways. You don't suddenly buy a new car or take a trip to Vegas. The cash sits in a storage unit while you work your regular job and pretend nothing happened. 6 months pass. Your case goes cold. The agent has newer robberies to worry about. You're still wanted, technically, but you're not wanted actively. There's a difference. You could live like this for years if you're smart. Some people do. Level 2, the regional threat. You hit 3 more banks. Different cities, same state, similar method. Now there's a pattern, and patterns get attention. The FBI creates a task force. Small one, just 4 agents, but they're focused entirely on you. They call you the Hoodie Bandit in internal reports because nobody knows your actual name yet. Local news picks up the story. Your photo goes out on social media. Tips start coming in, most of them useless. People see you everywhere. You're in Ohio and Florida and Montana simultaneously, according to witnesses who are absolutely certain. The task force filters through the noise, looking for the one tip that's real. You make your first serious mistake. You use your phone near a bank you're scouting, just checking Google Maps, nothing illegal, but your phone pings a tower. The FBI doesn't have your number yet, but they have data from every phone that was in that area during your surveillance window. That's 3,000 phones. They'll narrow it down. The list gets shorter every time you scout a location. You don't know this yet. You think you're being careful. You vary your targets, change your appearance slightly, never hit the same region twice in a row. But digital exhaust is piling up in databases you can't see. The net is tightening, and you won't feel it until it's already closed. Level 3, the federal priority. You graduate to violent crime. A robbery goes wrong. Security guard pulls a weapon. You pull yours first. He survives barely, but now you're not just a thief. You're an attempted murderer. Everything changes. The task force triples in size. Your case gets a dedicated intelligence analyst who does nothing but build a profile of you. Where you strike, when you strike, the gaps between crimes, the geographic pattern that you think is random, but isn't. Humans are terrible at randomness. We create patterns without realizing it. The analyst sees them. Your face goes on billboards. Crime Stoppers offers a $25,000 reward. Your photo is on the FBI website now, not the most wanted list yet, but you're climbing. The media gives you a better nickname, something that sounds dangerous. The news runs your story every time there's a slow news day. You become real to people. Not just a face on a poster, but a narrative. A threat in their community. Tips flood in by the hundreds. One of them is your ex-girlfriend who recognized your hands in the surveillance footage. She didn't know it was you at first, but then she saw the way you hold a gun, the stance, and something clicked. The FBI is at her door within hours. Level 4, the manhunt begins. They know your name now. They know where you grew up, where you went to school, who your family is. Agents interview your parents, your siblings, your former co-workers. Everyone you've ever known gets a visit. Some of them cooperate. Some of them don't. Your mother cries and says she doesn't know where you are, which is true. Your brother says nothing and closes the door. The FBI freezes your bank accounts. They monitor your email, your social media, every digital footprint you've left behind. They track down your known associates and put surveillance on them, hoping you'll make contact. You've been smart enough not to so far, but isolation is its own kind of prison. You're sleeping in motels, paying cash, using fake names that won't hold up under real scrutiny, but work fine for a clerk who doesn't care. You're in Missouri, or maybe Arkansas, somewhere in the middle of the country, where you can disappear into small towns that don't ask questions. You grow a beard, lose weight from the stress. start to look different from your photos, which helps. But you're running out of money, and that means you'll need to hit another bank soon. The preparation takes 2 days. You scout a target in a town so small it doesn't have a traffic light. Population 800. 1 bank, 2 employees. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, which makes you visible, but also makes the FBI presence unlikely. They're focused on cities. You're betting on that. The robbery takes 4 minutes. You walk in at opening, mask on, gun out. The teller is 60 years old and shaking so hard she can barely open the drawer. You take $12,000. Not enough to run forever, but enough to buy time. You're back in your car before anyone thinks to call the police. 3 counties away before the local sheriff even gets the description. But something went wrong. The bank had a new security system installed last month. Facial recognition that captured your eyes, your gait, the specific way you moved through the door. The footage uploads automatically to a federal database. The match comes back in 17 minutes. The task force knows where you are. Not exactly, but close enough. Within a 100-mile radius, they mobilize everything. Helicopters, roadblocks, local police departments coordinating across state lines. Your phone, the burner you thought was safe, pings a tower outside the town. They triangulate your direction. The radius shrinks to 50 miles, then 20. You don't know any of this is happening. You're driving the speed limit on back roads, thinking you got away clean, thinking you bought yourself another month. The first roadblock appears on Highway 63. You see the lights a quarter mile ahead and turn off before they spot you. Your heart rate spikes. That wasn't random. They're looking for you specifically. The net is closing. You ditch the car in a grocery store parking lot and walk into the woods. It's January. Temperature in the 20s. You're wearing a jacket meant for autumn, not winter. You have the $12,000 in a backpack, a handgun, a bottle of water. No plan beyond getting distance between yourself and the road. The woods are dense. Oak and pine. The ground is frozen. You move fast at first, then realize speed doesn't matter if you don't know where you're going. You slow down. Try to think. The next town is 15 miles north. You could make that by nightfall if you push. Find a motel. Figure out the next move. But your feet are already going numb. Level 5, the fugitive. You survive 3 days in the woods. Temperatures drop to single digits at night. You build fires that you extinguish before dawn. Terrified the smoke will give you away. You ration the granola bars you bought at a gas station, eating half of one per day. The water bottle freezes. You melt snow in your hands and drink it, knowing it's dropping your core temperature, but having no choice. On the 3rd night, you see lights through the trees. A farmhouse, isolated. 1 vehicle in the driveway. You watch for an hour. No movement. No signs of life beyond a light in the kitchen. You need warmth. Need food. Need to get out of the cold before hypothermia finishes what the FBI started. You break in through a basement window. The house is empty. Not abandoned, but the owners are gone. Vacation, maybe. You find canned food in the pantry. Blankets in a closet. You stay for 2 days, rationing everything, keeping the lights off, trying to become invisible. On the 2nd day, a neighbor drives by slowly, too slowly, looking at the house like something's wrong. You leave immediately, back into the woods, back into the cold. The task force finds your fire pits, tracks in the snow that you tried to cover but couldn't eliminate completely. They bring in dogs, bloodhounds that pick up your scent and follow it through miles of forest. You hear them before you see them, baying in the distance, getting closer. You run. Full sprint through undergrowth that tears at your clothes and skin. You cross a creek, hoping the water breaks the scent trail. It doesn't. The dogs adjust and keep coming. You're exhausted. Haven't eaten in a day. Your body is shutting down. The helicopter appears overhead. Thermal imaging spots your heat signature through the canopy. They vector ground units to your location. You have maybe 10 minutes. You find a ravine and slide down, injuring your ankle on the descent. The pain is immediate and absolute. You can't run anymore. Can barely walk. The dogs arrive first. Then the handlers. Then tactical units with rifles trained on you from positions you can't see. Someone yells commands you can't process through the adrenaline and fear and cold. You raise your hands. The gun is still in your waistband, but you don't reach for it. Some part of you knows that reaching means dying. They tackle you anyway. Face in the frozen dirt. hands zip-tied behind your back, the weight of 3 officers on your body. The helicopter is deafening now, rotor wash kicking up leaves and ice. Someone reads you your rights, but you can't hear the words over the noise and your own breathing. You're arrested. You're caught. 15 months of running ends in a ravine in Missouri, with your face pressed into soil that smells like decay. The charges scroll past you in the county jail. Armed robbery times 14, attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, fleeing, weapons charges. Each count carries years. Together, they carry decades. Your public defender is 26 and handling 70 cases. She's competent but drowning. She tells you the evidence is overwhelming. The surveillance footage, the DNA from crime scenes where you left sweat or skin cells, the ballistics matching your weapon to 3 different robberies. The federal prosecutor offers a deal. Plead guilty to 8 counts. Accept 40 years. Or go to trial and risk life without parole. You take the deal. The sentencing hearing lasts 20 minutes. The judge reads the charges, asks if you understand. You say yes. He sentences you to 40 years in federal prison. No parole. You'll be 71 when you're released. If you survive that long, they transfer you to USP Leavenworth 3 weeks later. Maximum security. The bus ride takes 11 hours, shackled to 8 other inmates who don't speak. The prison appears on the horizon like a monument to failure. Concrete walls 30 feet high, guard towers at each corner, razor wire catching sunlight in a way that looks almost beautiful from a distance. You're processed, stripped, searched, issued uniforms that smell like industrial detergent, assigned a cell that's 8 by 10 feet, a toilet without a seat, a bunk bolted to the wall, a cellmate who's been inside for 19 years and stopped talking to new arrivals a decade ago. The first year is the hardest. Everything you were before this doesn't matter. Your name becomes a number. Your identity becomes a classification. Medium risk, general population. Cell block D. You learn the rhythms. Count time at 5 a.m. Breakfast at 6. Work detail at 7. The days blend together. Weeks become months, become years. You stop counting after the first 18 months. It doesn't help to count. Some inmates find religion, some find education, some find violence. You find routine. Work in the kitchen, read in the library, exercise in the yard, keep your head down, avoid the gangs, avoid the guards, avoid anything that adds time to a sentence that's already longer than most marriages. 22 years pass. You're 53 now. Gray hair, bad knees, scars from a fight you didn't start but had to finish. Your mother died while you were inside. Your brother stopped writing after year 7. You have no one waiting for you on the outside, no life to return to, just a release date that feels both impossible and inevitable. When you finally walk out, the world has changed in ways you can't process. The technology, the culture, the way people talk and dress and move through space. You're a ghost, a relic from a different era. You have $600 from prison wages, a bus ticket to a halfway house in Kansas City, a parole officer who's already skeptical. You were on a poster once, wanted by the FBI, hunted across state lines. Now you're just another ex-con trying to figure out how to buy a phone and apply for jobs that won't hire you. The most wanted list continues without you. New faces, new crimes, new people making the same mistakes you made, thinking they're smarter than everyone who came before. They're not. Nobody is.